Hey all, can I share something with you? First and foremost, in full disclosure, this is actually take two. I went live once already to share this, and all went wrong, right? It totally fell short. And so I deleted it, and we're starting again, right? If at first we don't succeed, try again. Hi, Tammy. I see Tammy Boroff logging on. Thanks for joining me. I wanted to just share again. Some of you may have already seen a video I shared a couple weeks ago, and it was titled Path versus Destination. And it's something I shared because it's not only something I've experienced, battled with, dealt with over the years, and even currently now, but it's something that on a regular basis, hey Samantha, it's something on a regular basis that I support my clients in getting over. And it's this whole idea that there's a difference between path and destination. A lot of times our destination stays relatively the same. It can get clearer. It can maybe tweak a little bit, but in most cases where we're headed, what we want to do, where we want to go, that stays fairly similar. But what often changes, and changes quite frequently, more frequently, is our path. And sometimes we get kind of so sucked into making the path we're on at the moment such a big deal that we lose sight that oftentimes a path will come into an end, or there'll be a fork in the road, and changing path doesn't have to be or remain failure. It's not necessarily failure. It doesn't have to be failure. But in a lot of times we've reached the end of a season, of a path, of a journey, of a part of the walk that no longer serves us. It got us to where we need to be next, and now we're going to stretch beyond that. And there's a new path that gets us even closer to our ultimate destination. So that was the last video I shared, and it resonated with enough people. I didn't expect that. It resonated with enough people that I thought, maybe the stuff I struggle with, maybe the stuff that I'm supporting other people with, maybe it would just be helpful to share from time to time to help a broader and support a broader group of people as a whole. So all that to say, what I'd like to just share and process out loud with you right now is this whole idea of imposter syndrome, right? I'm sure I don't really have to define it because we all experience it at times, those times where we often catch ourselves saying, why me? Why would anybody listen to me? Or who am I to think that I could fill in the blank, right? You can just kind of put that out there. It's something that comes up a lot with, again, the clients I serve in their businesses, in their lives. Their businesses range from everything from a product and service related to being coach, being educators, and simply sitting down and working with people and supporting people along their paths. For everyone, at some point we come across this imposter syndrome. It actually happened today, getting ready to do this video, because who am I? Who am I to talk about this, right? That was what I was telling myself. That's what I was saying. Why would people want to listen to me share about this? And while I wrestled with imposter syndrome myself, I recognized, here we are. This is exactly why. People want to share. They have ideas. They have thoughts. They feel like they could be helpful. But then we get caught in our own head thinking about, well, I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. I've messed up, right? Who am I? Why would they listen? And what I've come to realize and recognize, that imposter syndrome kicks in the hardest when we are so focused on what we get from whatever the circumstances are. And by we're so worried about, what will people think of me if I do this? What will people think of me if I say this? Will this help bolster my credibility? Will it undermine my credibility? Will it just simply let people know that I really don't, we have all those questions. We're worried about what it'll look like. We're worried about what the repercussions are. We're worried about us and what we get from it. When that is all selfish, self-centered, and very limited perspective on it. When we step into the space of, what can I give? What do I have? What have I learned? What do I know? that I'm able to give someone. Whether they can use it or not, it's not up to me. But if there's experience, there's something I learned, there's something I know that I can give without an expectation of getting in return, I'm not an imposter at all, but I'm simply doing what I can to pour into someone else or to give to a situation or a circumstance. And I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, would love your comments, messages, things to ask more questions about it. And for an example kind of that, when I think about the people that I love to follow, that I love to listen to, that have had an impact on me, I realize they're not perfect people. And I know they're not perfect because they share their imperfections. They share their imperfections in ways that are vulnerable and appropriate, right? They're not looking for sympathy, but they're looking to share where they fall short so that we can learn from their mistakes right along with them. So all of this is just to say, imposter syndrome is something that's been coming up a lot for myself lately. Again, getting ready to do this video, I battled it, as well as something that's come up for a lot of the clients that I'm blessed to serve. Being held back in trying something, in doing something, because of the question, who am I? Well, you are you. You were called and created, specifically who you are, for a lot of different reasons. And sometimes we just don't know until we try what all we're capable of. And if we're too caught up in this, what will it look like? What will people think? Rather than, this is something I have to give. We're going to be held back. And who knows what impact we could have on someone else? Who knows what kind of an impact we can have on our own learning and growth if we just simply try. If we quit worrying about what we're going to potentially get out of it, good or bad, but instead focus on what it is we have to give in a situation. The last example I'll give you along these lines, just to hopefully help paint a better picture, is I was honored to work with someone who was promoting from a non-management level position to a director position, where they were not only going to be overseeing finances and programs, but they were also going to have a lot of people reporting to them. And they came to me, thank you, appreciate the confirmation, Samantha. They came to me because they knew they fell short of where they wanted to be from a leadership perspective, from being able to lead others. So we sat down and we started talking about asking questions, asking them to tell me a little bit more about where their concerns were, what it was that made them feel as if they weren't quite ready yet for the job they just accepted. And better yet, that they really wanted to be. They recognized where they were falling short, and instead of beating themselves up about it, they said, hey, who can help me? Because I want to get this. I want to get this, not right, not perfect, right? But I want to set myself up and the people that I'm going to lead. I want to set us all up for success. So we simply dug in. We started doing some discovery, and we found out just this, that the biggest concern for them was, what am I going to look like? What am I going to look like if I go in there and I don't do it the way I want to do it? Worse yet, I continue doing things the way I have been. We were able to help identify, which we don't have time to talk about now, we were able to help identify what was the root of that fear. What was really at the root of the fear of what they were afraid people would think. And then we helped him develop his own framework for how to take that fear, it was a lie he was telling himself, and always recenter it back on the truth. And the truth that he could build and walk away with was, in situations where I'm feeling stressed, where I'm feeling conflicted, where I'm tempted to feel like an imposter, to give himself some time to relax and think and remind himself, what is it I have to give to this situation? To push, to not totally deny the fears that were there, right? Because they're going to be there. But to think about them, set them aside, and then ask himself, what do I have to give in this situation to serve those who are here? And that was several months ago, and I continue to check in on him. And again, we're not perfect, right? Not everything goes great, but he is so much more confident in serving. He's had a lot of great feedback, and things are going wonderfully for him because he is able to push the imposter aside, that lie, and really lean into, for him, what can I give in this situation? It's helped him to lead himself better, which has better enabled him to lead others well. So my question for you is, next time you feel the imposter syndrome kicking in, kick it back. Kick it back by asking yourself, all right, I'm afraid that this might happen, or I might get this from this situation. What is it that I know I can give? Again, hopefully this resonates with someone. If you have thoughts, questions, please don't hesitate to private message me. Email me at mike@coachklaus.com. Would also just love to know what you're battling. What have you been struggling with, if anything? Or what have you been really excelling at and want to continue to build on? Because those are the things that help me know how I can support you, how I can encourage you, maybe how I can help you ask better questions so that you can find your own best answers. Thanks so much for joining me, whether it was live or replay, and look forward to talking with you soon.